instructors we get from the community. So we don't go out and advertise and go grab people. They self-evolve from inside the community. So a guy comes in about 4 months ago and says to one of our dream coaches, hey, I want to build an iPad case out of bamboo. It's like, wow, that's a cool idea. I don't know how to do that. What should I do? Well, why don't you take the CNC Concepts class and the CNC Shop Block class, and then go talk to one of our dream coaches and he'll help you out. So he takes those 2 classes. They're $85 each, so he's into it for, what, $180, becomes a member for $100, so he's into it for $280. Goes to the dream coach who helps him do the layout and the design for the little case, and then says, oh, I want to do it with leather and bound, and I want to do some silk. So, well, you got to go talk to the guy that's done products for Hasbro, so that's designed for manufacturing. And you need to talk to Laura in textiles, because she'll know how to glue the thing together. So within about 4 weeks, he's got his prototype, launches an eBay business. Gizmodo picks it up, calls it the Rolls-Royce of iPad cases. He gets 1,000 orders the next day. Yeah, so we call that a nice problem. And then Apple, unofficial Apple, picks it up. He has a 6,000 unit series of orders in the next week. He currently has a $400,000 back order.
Wow.
This isn't, I go to my team and say, what have you guys been doing the last couple of months? So the other one that I love, we've got a 19-year-old kid who came in and said he wanted to have a Segway, couldn't afford it, so he goes online, finds a mentor, talks to the electronics folks, figures out how to build one. He builds a Segway. So that's pretty cool. But then he figures, the problem with the Segway is you can't sit on it. You got to drive it around, you got to stand up. So this 19-year-old kid had built the world's first 2-wheeled, self-balancing 18-mile-an-hour bar stool. That's what the world needs.
I want one of those for when I go to the bar.
Drive you home.
Sir, you're weaving your thing.
So, we live in a day and age where the information is free and available on Google. The tools are the cheapest, easiest, and most accessible they've ever been in all of human history. And what you need is a community that combines those things together. And you can build anything. It's really very amazing. And you do need to have a buddy to take you to the hospital if something goes wrong.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a geek. Everything's available, like Mark said, and the community is available now for the first time in ever. So there's way more geeky, wonderful things to do than time to do it, even though I've been trying. So yeah, anyone else want to talk about different projects?
We got 2 major projects. We do the MakerBot. That's made by Free Pettis, the group in New York. But we have about 8 to 10 people in the Kansas City area, and all they do is they come down, and the MakerBot is pretty much a prototype. It's a product being solely developed and worked on.
Well, explain what it is first for people who don't know.
Well, it's a 3D printer. What it does is it uses different types of plastic, and then actually it has an extruder who actually heats the plastic, and then you make your 3D shapes on a build platform. First you have all the different decode and your 3D design programs. There's a lot to it. So
well, let me interrupt you just for a sec and get a little background of MakerBot, because the thing is, from all these different projects that people do, there's stuff that people do pretty much across the board because we love doing it. It may have nothing to do with making money, or maybe it does, but the main thing is we love doing it. MakerBot came from a couple people at NYC Resistor, the space in New York, working on a RepRap project, which is a rapid prototyping machine. The ambitious end goal of this project is to have a robot that reproduces itself. We're a long way from that end goal, but right now RepRap is really a high-resolution 3D printer. Just like a printer, we print out a piece of paper, something's on your screen, you hit print, and up comes a reproduction of that 2D image on your screen. So a 3D printer is you have a 3D model on your screen, you hit the print button, plastic comes into the MakerBot, which is a version of RepRap, and out comes a 3D model. A fork, another piece for a foosball game that you broke, a skull and crossbones, whatever you want. If you have a picture of it on your computer, out it comes. So these people were totally into it. They started making kits for other people to make these RepRaps. Pretty soon they're making the first complete kit of a 3D printer. 3D printers have existed for quite a while. They're like $20,000, $30,000 a piece. Their kit is $750. They are back ordered. When they first started, they were back ordered for I don't even know how much. It's a great problem to have if you're running a business. But they've caught up, and now they're well on their way to $1 million business this first year. So, sorry if I interrupted.
Oh, no, you explained it better than I did. The other thing is, I don't know if you've seen it, you can buy it at stores. It's called a Cricut. You've seen it, yeah. Basically cuts paper, different designs and patterns and so on to make whatever you want out of paper. But a couple of guys have actually hacked it now. Usually you have to use the proprietary cartridges to do your designs. A couple of guys down there actually hacked it so you can operate it through like a Linux operating system or Windows operating system. It doesn't quite work well yet. They haven't reverse engineered the entire program. They actually got to move around, cut the paper. Just haven't got it to do elaborate design yet. So that's something.
Yeah, and then all your work is open source, and you share it online with other people.
Yeah, they'd like to, but the problem is the copyright laws. The companies that like sharing it online. So right.
Well, the information is online if you share it, if you care to look for it.
Yeah, if you care to look for it. Yeah, but we're trying to create a little profile right now.
Not only is there the individual communities within the hackerspaces, but there is an actual hackerspace community to some degree that, you know, we kind of challenge each other and work with each other. And part of that is something that Hack Pittsburgh is really involved in right now. Is we're competing in a competition with other hackerspaces around the world in a competition called Hackerspaces in Space. So one of our big projects right now is we are trying to launch a weather balloon to 100,000 feet, take pictures of curvature of the Earth, track it and recover it. So whichever team does it the fastest, the lightest, and the cheapest wins. So it's a big competition among, yeah, there you go. That's what we're after right there. Yeah.
When you're, but this, does it have to be the weather balloon, or can it be like a rocket, you know,
It
something?
can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
There's a budget rocket.
Yeah, there is a budget limit, so $250 is the most you can do.
We have
so.
some members doing that. I was just actually curious, who all is doing that? Anyone? Highway 3 is doing it, Noise Bridge is doing it.
Yeah.
I think, didn't we just...
There's a Raleigh team.
We just did that in Raleigh, Durham, the tech shop there.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this
there's
is an international project, and it's mostly at Hackerspace.
Yeah, there's
pretty cool.
There's a lot of us working on it, and you know, it's something that is also interesting because it encompasses a lot of different aspects. So you know, we need people who have you know, electronic skills to build tracking devices, but we need also people who have some, you know, mechanical engineering skills to, you know, build some of the things that go into it. We need crafters to make parachutes for it. You know, there's all kinds of aspects to it that it really brings the entire shop and all those skills together.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what people can do when they come together. NASA spent I don't know how many millions of dollars to get a picture like this. This costs about $200. Just a few people getting together. There's actually two groups at Noise Bridge, and they're both taking pictures like this and video and collecting all sorts of data and spaces. I don't know what you guys are doing, but there's a lot of interesting citizen science going on at Hackerspaces. Yeah, so you know, you've been getting a taste of the kind of projects, and by the way, I passed. There's a MakerBot. That's one of the first ones.
Also, Mitch, can I just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's interesting when people are like, well, what comes first, you know, the space or the people or the tools or whatever. And this was an interesting example where the MakerBot was, I guess, propelled in some ways because when I joined the space, a lot of us were talking about things we wanted to do. We were thinking, wow, you know, what if we had a laser cutter? Boy, that would be really awesome. And we actually got together and we said, well, why don't we pool our money and figure out a way that we can afford it and, you know, charge ourselves for it and charge people on the outside to bring in some revenue to support the use of it and find a way to even like pay ourselves back over time. And what happened when we got that tool in the space is we don't really have specific projects aimed at it, but projects really started to erupt out of having that specific tool. And this being one of them, as you can see, a lot of the parts are cut out on laser.